These are my Stage 2 Pacific power rankings. But first up, we're going to take a quick look at the ELO rating for each of the Pacific teams. And so this was the ELO rating post Stage 1 or post Masters for Paper X, GE, and Full Sense. And as you can see, Paper X is far ahead of everyone else. And then even T1 kind of a huge gap. Nongshim are still kind of high. Because of their Masters win in Santiago. And yeah, the rest of the field more or less close, and then Secret, Zeta, and Vera lower than the rest of the squads, which does seem kind of representative of how Pacific went. And then the changes now coming into Stage 2 with Summit and Sunset coming in for Pearl and Fracture. Paper X are still by far the number one team, but then there are some changes within that, and yeah, overall I think it's not all that representative as of right now, right, since none of the teams have played the new maps and a lot of teams haven't even played Ascent. So yeah, this ELO rating is not yet really conclusive of how good these teams are, but it will get better over the course of Stage 2. But right now just interesting to look at. And so let's get into the actual power ranking bit. But before we actually rank these teams, we're gonna quickly go over the couple of changes that happened. And first up, Full Sense, Sephiroth is coming in for Leviathan, which I think is a good pickup. Leviathan didn't look too strong at the Masters. He seemed to be kind of underperforming, and Sephiroth has looked great in Tier 2, so I think that makes sense as a pickup. And then also there's a bit of a change in the coaching staff with Frost coming on in from GE, where he got reportedly kicked out by Patman, or just because of a dispute between the two. But yeah, Frost going over from GE back to Full Sense, or he wasn't at Full Sense, he was with Talon, but still the Full Sense squad is kind of the Talon players. So they're kind of reunited, and yeah, Frost and Cruz did work well together in the past, so I think that's a great pickup for Full Sense. Then for Gen G, Zinx and Lakia are out, and Efina and Reskel are coming in. Efina is supposed to be the IGL, and then Reskel, I assume, is gonna be a Sentinel. I'm not 100% certain on what the roles are gonna be like, but I do think that it's a good pickup. Makes a lot of sense, and yeah, I think they are gonna look better than they did during Stage 1. Then for RRQ, Zen is coming in for Monyet. I think he's pronounced Zen, XAN. It's written. And yeah, I think it's a good pickup. Monyet has been struggling quite a bit, and Zen has been doing well in Tier 2, so that makes sense. I don't know if it's really gonna change how I view RRQ though overall. I really don't think that I would put them any higher than I would have put them with Monyet, if I'm being honest. Then next up for T1, DH is coming in for Stacks, I think it's gonna be. I'm not too certain, but I think that will probably make the most sense because of the roles. And I'm great that we have DH back. I thought he was great when he was last year on T1, and I didn't understand why he didn't have a starting spot with the team. But now he does, and even though I still think that Stacks was one of the best players, if he's being the one that is being changed, I'm still excited to see DH come in, and yeah, I think T1 are gonna be a great team again. Then for Team Secret, after Zeus already came in for Rimuru, I believe, during Stage 1, they are now getting rid of Jesse Vash and Berserks as well, and for Berserks, Nuts is coming in, and for Jesse Vash, there's Styron coming in, who's supposed to be their new IGL. I haven't really heard anything about Styron, how good his calling is. But I think Nuts is supposed to be quite good, and Zeus has looked really good during stage 1 when he came in. So I do think that this Team Secret roster is gonna be way more competitive than the old one was, which should be exciting. And I think for a lot of the teams that looked kind of rough during stage 1, they did roster changes to look a bit better. Apart from Zeta maybe, who didn't change anything, but we'll get to that in the power rankings. And then Veril is the last team that made changes, and coming in for them is Foxy9 from Genji, who was on the bench for that team, and I think he's coming in for Cinder, which I think is a great pickup. I think Foxy9 is a really good player, and Cinder has not been performing well within tier 1, so yeah, I think it's a good pickup for Veril. So now let's start power ranking, and I'm gonna start off with the obvious. Paper Rex should be in S tier. I really can't see them not being the best team. I could see them though trying a bit of new stuff since they already qualified for champs, so they don't have to try out every single game. So you might see them trying out new things maybe on some of the maps. Get a bit creative with their comps. I don't know. But yeah, overall, I still think they are the strongest team within Pacific, and they are my only S tier team. Then in A tier, I will put T1. I think with DH coming in, and even if he wouldn't be, I still think they are probably the second best team. I think they got upset by Full Sense in the upper bracket in stage 1, and then lost to Pepper X in the lower bracket. So I still think they would have made it if it wasn't Pepper X that they were meeting in the lower bracket. I think they would have beaten GE. And so, yeah, because of that, and because I think it was an upset by Full Sense, I still think T1 is going to be the second best team within Pacific. But joining tier 1 in A tier is Full Sense. I think Sephiroth over Leviathan should work out. I think with Frost coming in, I think Frost and Cruz should be working well together again. So yeah, I don't see any reason why Full Sense wouldn't be one of the best teams within Pacific again. And then that's kind of where it gets a bit tricky in my opinion, because I don't think I would put any other team in A tier, because with all of the other teams, there are some worries that I have. Now, GE, who made Masters London, I do worry that with Frost not being on the team anymore, that maybe because of that they just won't reach these heights again, and just are gonna look a bit worse. So that's why I wouldn't put them in A tier, and I would put them in B tier instead. And yeah, for any other team, I've got even more worries. I would probably other teams I would put in B tier are probably RQ, Nongshim, DRX, and I think I will put Genji in there as well, since Genji still have Texture and Karen, and I can't see them not doing better in stage 2, with now a better designated IGL coming in from tier 2. And when it comes to ordering these teams, I feel like there are a lot of ways you could order them around. I think you could put RQ here. I would understand if you put Nongshim a bit lower. I think only Genji I will put in the last position in B tier right now. I could also understand if you put Nongshim above RQ, since I think Nongshim are probably gonna find their groove a bit more now, since they had a lot of time, and the Neon still seems to be good. So hopefully they figured out what to do with that, since I still think Dumby should be playing Neon for sure. But uh, I feel like this is the best that I can do. I feel the best about this. I'm not certain at all. I think just in general, the midfield in Pacific seems to be really stacked, and I wouldn't be surprised if any of these teams beat each other. And I also think that the three teams below them, even they could beat them. And so, speaking of which, I've already said Zeta, they didn't make any changes, so they look clearly the worst. And then the other three teams, they are the ones that I think can reasonably beat some of the B tier teams. And I really wouldn't be surprised. And I think at the very least, they're going to look competitive versus them. But when it comes to ordering these teams, I'm not so certain. I actually think Team Secret look quite are gonna look quite good. Zeus really seemed to be the real deal, so I'm gonna put them the highest maybe, and then DFM, and then Veryl. I think that's probably how I would put it. Um, with these three teams, I really see them as like a clump. Like they all three of them are so like their potential, the potential for each of these is to beat any of the B tier teams, but also the potential is to just look just as bad as Zeta. And so it feels really hard to rank within C tier as well as within B tier. Kind of the top three, that's the only thing I'm certain about. And probably that Zeta are gonna be the worst team. But yeah, the rest seems really close. And so let me know in the comments below with which do you agree with, what would you put differently in terms of power ranking, like which team am I under or overrating maybe. And then we're gonna see each other tomorrow for the Americas power rankings.